back to the thing for me. Cool. Wonderful. Well, I think it's 3 minutes past 4 now, and I think we've got a few more people joining, but I do want to get started because we have a fantastic group, and I want to make sure we have enough time. So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another wonderful Australian British Chamber of Commerce virtual Meet the Member event, this one for the month of February. For any of you who maybe I have not yet met, my name is Paul Wright, and I'm the Chief Commercial Officer of the Chamber. First of all, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet today. As I'm based in Sydney, that would be the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I would like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. So as I say, it's wonderful to have so many of you on the call today. For anybody that has not done this before, Virtual Meet the Member event is a program that we started doing during COVID when we couldn't all get together and do physical events, but people still wanted to find a way to interact with each other. As soon as we came back to doing physical events, everybody said this format works so well for them to keep it like this. So it's a great way for our chamber members from across the country, as well as from overseas, to give you all a quick idea of the company that they're from, the services that they offer, and most importantly, the type of companies that they want to interact with. And as I always say, our chamber members and our guests are a very inclusive bunch, a wonderful bunch. And so even if, one of our speakers, their service, their facility is something that you can't really utilize, please think of them for your private networks. I see a wealth of wonderful industry leaders on the call today. It'd be wonderful to see, how we can, cross-promote and obviously make those introductions as well. So the format of today, we've got 10 wonderful speakers, all from different industry sectors, who will each have 3 minutes to give a quick overview of their company. Towards the end of that, I will then obviously open up, at the end of that, I'll then open it up for Q&A. So please, would love to have some great interaction from the rest of our attendees to be able to obviously answer those questions. We do also have a chat box, so I would also ask you to utilize that, and you can utilize that throughout the call so that people can still have that continual engagement. At the end tomorrow morning, we'll also be sending out all the speakers' contact details. You can contact them directly as well. This session is being recorded. So obviously, if there are any of your colleagues that would also like to watch this, then please do share it with them. So to get started, because it is 4:05 now, I'm already eating into everybody's time. So we'll get started with our first wonderful speaker. And our first speaker is Piers Morgan. Piers is the Executive Director of Regulatory Services Australia. And Piers, I'm going to put you on the clock. So your 3 minutes start now.
Thanks, Paul. Hello, everyone. As Paul says, my name's Piers. I'm the Executive Director of Regulatory Services Australia. It's a division of the Warringah Group, and that evolved from, both businesses actually evolved from an executive career working in highly regulated industries, which included the gambling industry. I've worked in that a lot. The Warringah Group provides, just that business provides non-executive directorships and consulting services to offshore companies establishing a subsidiary in Australia. So every Australian company needs to have an Australian resident director. It's been going for about 10 years. There's over 20 directorships we carry. They cover across technology, defence, communications, construction, entertainment, and healthcare industries. 7 over those 20 are British companies, so there's a strong British presence. And the only one anyone might recognise is NVIDIA, which happens to also be the largest company in the world. I'm their Australian and New Zealand resident director and have been there for 5 years. So that's the directorship side. So if anyone is looking for director services, we could help them. The focus of the call is about Regulatory Services Australia. That was formed 5 years ago. It's evolved out of directorship roles. So we provide agency services in 3 regulated sectors in Australia that require an Australian resident agent, and that's medicines and medical devices with the TGA, cosmetics and industrial chemicals with a regime called ACUS, and agricultural and veterinary chemicals with a regime called the APVMA. So mostly our clients are selling medical devices, complementary medicines, over-the-counter medicines, cosmetics, or agricultural chemicals. Think of insecticides, herbicides, pesticides. So we're interested in companies who want to bring those sort of products into the market in Australia, and they do need an Australian agent before they can market and sell them. and the regulatory process is quite complicated. So we tend to work pretty closely with the likes of the trade officers from around the world who can help up to a point. We can finish it off and get companies registered. So as agents, we take responsibility. The reason there is an agent is we take responsibility from a regulatory point. If someone gets sick, if a person or an animal gets sick, then the agency, the regulator rather, can come back to us, and we have to take responsibility for fixing it up. So there's quite a lot of responsibility. We also provide a range of commercial services to our clients, which sort of covers market analysis, helping them find distributors. Sometimes they need help with wholesaling or warehousing or logistics. So we help with all that. And Jenny O'Sullivan, who's also on this call, that's her background, a trade background, so she helps as well. We use a range of third-party consultants as well. And essentially, that's what we're about.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. 3 minutes on the dot, sir. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Our next speaker is Amin. I just want to get this right. Javed?
Oh, spot. Amin Javed.
There we are. Amin Javed, who's the head of product innovation and transformation for TPG Telecom. So, Amin, your 3 minutes, sir. Start now.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks everyone for having me. Just a bit about myself. I've got an engineering background. Been with TPG Telecom, previously known as Vodafone Hutchison Australia, and TPG Internet, which merged a couple of years ago. Engineering background, ended up in products because very passionate about the products we create and how we solve problems for our customers. TPG Telecom Group as a whole, as you would know, owns and operates multiple brands such as Vodafone, iiNet, TPG Internet, and AAPT, to name a few. In the SOHO and the small business segment, it's predominantly Vodafone Business and TPG Telecom, which encapsulates all key offerings. We are an end-to-end telecommunications provider, and our strength is in our ability to become technology partners for our businesses and customers. So I guess that's where we try to differentiate is we're not just selling SIMs, we're not just selling internet services, but we're really about coming up together with our businesses to see what are the complete solutions that we are able to provide to them and solve their requirements, whether it's their operational requirements or their growth aspirations. And that's what I'll come to later on in terms of what are we looking for constantly in the market to partner with some of the providers who provide complementary or supplementary services to the carriage services that we provide. TPG Telecom was founded through the merger of VHA and TPG Internet. We are lucky and we do have a rich history of innovation and being a challenging brand. And that goes back to, some of you would remember the launch of Vodafone, early 90s, the 3 brand under Hutchison, which came up with some very innovative solutions in terms of video, voice calling, back I think in 2003 when it was launched. So we've got a rich history and we're lucky enough to, but we've continued with that as well, being a challenging brand and also being an innovative brand as well. I won't spend too much time on products, but really they can be broadly grouped into mobile connectivity services and fixed network services. That's voice and data plans, your internet services, device managers, messaging, and some of the complex products such as your private networks, IoT, SD-WAN, and dedicated fiber solutions. And we do deliver it over our extensive fiber network that we have, but then also third-party access services like leveraging NBN or other third-party networks where we can. We have recently and very proud of announced a massive expansion on our mobile network, where we do cover about 98.4% of the Australian population. In terms of what we're looking for, we're always looking for, like I said, to provide complementary services to our customers, whether it's security, whether it's device management, especially in the small business space where telco pro services are one, but how do you make it easy for small businesses or medium businesses to provide end-to-end complete technology solutions from one party rather than going to multiple providers thereon. And that's me. I'm sorry, I'm just 10 seconds over time.
Fantastic. You were timing it as well. That's great. Thank you so much, Amin. That was wonderful, sir. Our next speaker, God bless her, is Kirsty Silk. Kirsty, the reason why I say God bless her is because Kirsty right now is in the UK. It's currently 12 minutes past 5 in the morning in the UK. Now, I'm usually up at that time, but that's because I've got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. But Kirsty's doing this to speak to all of you wonderful people. So thank you so much, Kirsty. So as I say, let me introduce Kirsty Silk, Deputy Director, Executive Education at the University of Queensland. And Kirsty, thank you so much again for joining us. Your 3 minutes start now.
Okay, thank you, Paul, and good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon. Yeah, as you can tell from my accent, I'm actually from Hull in Yorkshire, but I've been in Australia for 18 years now, and I have the privilege of working at the University of Queensland, which is the #1 university in Australia, and within the business school. Our executive education portfolio sits within the business school, which this year did get the accreditation of the 3rd highest business school in Australia. So you're in pretty good company and pretty good hands here. Executive education. So the portfolio includes short courses, which I think is really interesting for all the members on here today. Our short courses range from 2 to 3 days and are built and designed for you to gain that skills and capabilities like when you need it right now. So basically we're looking at broadening executives toolkit, the toolkit that you've always had over many years and that you've gained through your experience. An executive education short course can actually broaden that toolkit by taking you out of your business as usual, probably out of your own industry, okay, and out of your area to actually, if you're looking at a transformation strategy or an innovation strategy, or you're grappling with how you use AI and how you govern that within your small businesses or your businesses, we're here to help. We're here to unlock ideas, provide you access to global academics that teach those courses, mainly face-to-face in Brisbane, Queensland, but most of our courses are also hybrid. So you could join online from anywhere in the world, as I am today. The other part of our portfolio is bespoke custom leadership programs that we design entirely for you and your organization. And they range from 3 months to 6 months in duration. The reason for that is it's dispersed learning. So it's not just we come in and we do an amazing event and short course for you and then we leave you. We actually stick around for a few months and we work with individuals on building their capabilities and their skills so that they're gaining confidence themselves, but also they're really giving back to their organization through the impact of the learning that they gain in our programs. I'm here today in Oxford because our just sharing a latest update with you. University of Queensland has a partnership with the University of Oxford. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind partnership, and two worlds coming together from University of Queensland Innovation, Leadership, Strategy, and Oxford Side Business School's major projects team and major clients team, which bringing skills to Queensland, to be honest, with the biggest transformation that's going on in our state that we've ever had in a generation. This partnership is formed an academy, a leadership academy, which I've got some of my UQ colleagues on the call today supporting me in this early morning call. And you know, we've just had our residential week here. So our first program is an executive leadership program. It's 6 months. It's 4 modules based in Brisbane and a week residential in Oxford. Thank you,
Fantastic. Thank you. So I felt bad cutting you off because obviously you've given us your very early morning time. But no, thank you so much. And yeah, we're delighted to obviously have such a strong partnership with the University of Queensland in good old Brisbane. So thank you so much, Kirsty. Our next speaker, Mr. Simon Alsop. Simon is the founder of a wonderful company called iKeep. And Simon, your 3 minutes, sir, starts now.
Fantastic. Well, it's great to see everybody online this afternoon. I founded iKeep about 5 years ago, following a career in accounting and initially KPMG, working with some international businesses. Basically, I saw the need in the marketplace for an outsourced accounts provider. So whether it be small businesses that needed bookkeeping and payroll, but then with the networks that I had, it was like coming from big businesses actually needed this guidance around Australia too. So we've picked up businesses, whether it be like an art gallery in the UK that wanted to open a gallery inside Sydney, and then it's like, oh my God, what's the regulation with hiring people locally? How do I get a business operating? How do I get a bank account up? And then, by the way, how does the GST work there? How do we get the BASs done? And so literally what we do is guide businesses to varying degrees on just running their business inside Australia. We have a team of very experienced bookkeepers, payroll experts, accountants. We do tap out at the tax returns though, and partner with specialist tax firms. So we're helping businesses, both local and foreign, from all parts of the globe, on running their businesses in Australia. And so we've got a team of about 30 people that are working full-time inside the business. We work with about 400 businesses around the country at this point in time, and are basically the eyes and ears on the grounds for them. So there's a little bit of overlap with peers, with some local director services, but we don't really focus on that. That just comes up every now and then. So it'll be great to connect with you after for some more specialist tips. But yeah, we're helping businesses with making sure they've got the right piece of technology inside their business to give them a clear and up-to-date picture of the financials inside their business. So we use accounting, but try and I guess explain it in some very clear and simple English with a team who really know their work inside out. So yeah, I'm going to finish nice, short and sharp, but that's our message. We guide businesses through their basic accounting and payroll requirements to operate effectively in Australia.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Simon. And great to see there's already been one connection made with yourself and Piers. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Spirit of the day.
Yeah, wonderful. No, thank you so much, Simon. That's great, mate. Our next speaker, so our speaker number 5 is the wonderful Brittany Dovner. Brittany is the Senior Key Account Manager for Zulu 8, a very exciting company. Brittany's just recently moved to Melbourne as well, in a place I've never heard of, but so all of you Melbourne people know it. But Brittany, your 3 minutes start now.
Amazing. I must say it's Doreen, and not many people in Melbourne actually know where it is, but that's okay. Yes, thank you, Paul. My name is Brittany Dovner, and I work for Zulu 8. And the many who may not know, Zulu 8 is a full-service advertising agency, and I guess we're on a mission to make your business stand out from the rest. So we've been operating for 35 years now. We're family owned and operated, and catering to businesses across Australia and New Zealand. We do have the capacity to help out overseas as well, but our bread and butter is really here. I guess clients that people may know that we cater to are people like Bose, Bupa, Ray White, and Chanel and Dior are really fun ones as well. But we do cater to small businesses too. So the local cafes, we've got a small skincare brand that we work with, and a range of sole traders as well. And I guess we're just looking to bring value to anybody who might need any assistance within the advertising space. And the services, I guess, we supply or provide are both in-house and external. The in-house ones being, again, our bread and butter is all around graphic design, 2D and 3D animation, and brand creation and protection. So we have an internal team of amazing designers that do everything from small flyer fix-ups to large campaign creations, from the, I guess, idea and inspiration at the start of it to the full completion and run out of all designs. We've got internal illustrators and hand calligraphers, so anything that is created can be really bespoke and made to really represent your brand and what I guess you want to embody out in the world and teach people about. And again, that starts from anywhere from a logo creation, your brand colors, all the way up to the campaign and the messaging that you're selling. But we do know that just having the design isn't quite enough, and we really want to bring that further to life. And we do this through working with over 200 suppliers in getting print done for you. And this could be anything from your brochures and flyers and that paper material to signage, apparel, and even merchandise. And merchandise, again, can be as simple as your standard keep cups to I just created a personalized logoed with different messages inside fortune cookies. So anything that you want to put your logo on, I'm the person to have a chat to. And if I can't do it, I've got a partner who can. Again, I really just want to be a one-stop shop for anything advertising. And yeah, if you happen to be around the Melbourne area, free to catch up for a coffee. Otherwise, I've got many of my colleagues in Sydney as well. But yeah, just want to reach out to anybody who I can hopefully provide value to.
God, 3 minutes on the dot. Look at that. You've done this one before, Brittany. Fantastic. No, thank you so much. And again, such a crucial service that you guys offer. And I think, what I also like to see about this group here is it's not about, what can we do together? It's also about, how can we support each other with the clients that I have? Maybe, Simon sort of saying, oh, I'm dealing with companies that could really utilize your facilities. Brittany, you saying the same thing. So yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much, Brittany. Speaking number 6, so we're halfway through at the moment, guys. So I'd love you to start thinking of some great questions at the end of this. Please, again, as I say, please do use the chat box that's here as well. You can start writing there at any point at the same time as well. So our speaker number 6 is the fantastic Ollie O'Gorman. Ollie is the business development manager for Lockton Australia, a long-time partner of the Chamber, a fantastic young gentleman. And Ollie, your 3 minutes, sir. Start now.
Yeah, hi all. This all very much feels like speed dating, which I've not been very good at in the past, so hopefully this goes a little bit better. My name is Ollie O'Gorman and I work as a business development manager here for Lockton. I've been with the business here in our Sydney office for coming up to 2 years now. I'm tasked to talk about insurance over the next 3 minutes, so I'm hoping I can keep everyone awake. Insurance can sometimes feel like a necessary evil. When you want it or need it, you can't find it. And when you do want it, when you don't want it, it's available in abundance. It can be put in the same bracket as excess baggage, parking tickets, tax, and ex-girlfriends, but I'm sure we can all change that stigma. So by way of introduction to Lockton, we are the world's largest privately owned insurance broker and the 9th largest broker overall globally. Our presence here in Australia is rapidly growing. The business was originally formed in 1966 out of Kansas City in the US, a year that us English should never forget. Fast forward to today, we're in a $3.5 billion revenue business with a presence in more than 140 locations globally. Here in Australia, the business was formed in 2012 with significant investment coming on the East Coast in 2018. Now with 8 locations across Australia and NZ and close to 300 staff. Our private ownership is a huge differentiator for us. We do not have a board of directors that we have to keep happy. We do not make decisions based on a share price fluctuation. We're able to solely focus on what is most important, and that is servicing our clients. This is very much reflected in our client retention rate of 98%, which compared to the industry average of 82%, also combined with our low staff turnover rate of less than 8% means that our clients aren't leaving, our staff aren't moving, so we must be doing something right. We're very much a specialty focused business here in Australia, and we have specific industry verticals. We don't try and be all things to all people, and if you fall outside one of these industry verticals, you're not going to be a suitable client for Lockton. Some of these industry verticals include professional and financial services, real estate and hospitality, construction, health and community services, mining and resources, power and energy, manufacturing, and people solutions, which incorporates your workers' compensation. Now, the insurance market swings in cycles, as you may or may not know. We're now currently exiting a hard market procedure across multiple lines of business and entering a soft market. This means that there's generally more insurer capacity available, and ultimately that means that insurance premiums are decreasing. Obviously, this presents a great opportunity for buyers to be reviewing their insurance needs. What Lockton do offer to all of our members here and outside is a complimentary insurance review. And what that means is we take a look at your current program, we can provide feedback on cover, price, structure, and more. This is an absolute confidential process, meaning we don't go to market. What we do is use the data we have in-house, benchmarking tools, etc., to provide you with that paper and feedback. So if there was anything there that resonated and it was worthwhile for an additional conversation, I'd love to do that. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Ali. That's wonderful, mate. Really, really good. And everybody start thinking of some good questions for Ollie after this as well. He loves being put on the spot with a few questions. So yeah, think of some good ones for him. Our next speaker is Mr. Peter Nespel, Director of Capital Markets at Income Asset Management Group. Peter, are you there? Where are you? There we go. Fantastic. Peter, your 3 minutes, sir. Start now.
Thank you, and well pronounced with that surname. Tricky one. Yeah, so my name is Peter. I work at Income Asset Management, or IAM, which is an ASX-listed specialist fixed income business. So we basically, our real value is providing access, facilitating access to the bond market in Australia. For those who aren't familiar, in Australia, virtually every corporate bond investment that's issued into the market is done so in what's called the over-the-counter market. So it's not listed on an exchange. You can't buy it on the ASX. You have to use a broker such as IAM and myself to access it. So we provide the advice, the execution, the custody services, reporting, basically the whole kit and caboodle. We're pretty broad spectrum, so we'll do it. We're active in anything from government bonds, which is essentially risk-free, to super safe bank bonds issued by NAB and CBA and the like, all the way down to kind of smaller issuers issuing debt that might be anywhere from 10, 11, 12%. So it's really a horses for courses type business and opportunity. So depending on what you're looking to do, we're all bespoke. So it's all about, what are you looking to do? What are your goals? We can help you design basically a bespoke portfolio of these securities. There's, I made a note here that there's something for everyone. So if all you're looking to do is you've got money in a term deposit, but hey, I'm not happy with 4%, I want 5 or 6%. Maybe you look at government bonds and bank bonds, or hey, I've got a whole bunch of money in the equity markets, but I'm worried it's at the top of the cycle and it's going to sell off, but I still want to try to achieve 8, 9, 10% returns. Okay, here's some options that might fit that bill. Specifically relevant to the group here is that we're very active in foreign denominated bonds, particularly sterling. So if you've got sterling, you're living here, but you've got sterling that you're looking to invest, we can assist with GBP denominated bonds. You pay in sterling, you get paid your interest in sterling, and you get the proceeds in sterling. So yeah, you're not having to take on any FX risk or anything like that. It's about it really. You get me. I'm just a specialist RM here. My job is to talk to you. I talk to my clients pretty much every day. If they like, some far less frequent. I've got private clients, SMSFs, financial advisors, local councils, family offices, the whole gambit. So if you're looking to look at this market, the bond market, for the first time, or even just want to chat, figure out what it's all about, then please touch base.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Peter. You gave me 5 seconds to spare there as well. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, Peter. Now, our next speaker was going to be our wonderful partners at the Hawkesbury Brewing Company, but unfortunately something has come up quite urgent, and so they weren't able to make it. Maybe it's, they've just brought in Ryan Reynolds with Wrexham Lager, so maybe there's something going on there. I'm not really sure. But one thing that Paul Weaving did want me to say is that if anybody was on the call because they specifically wanted to hear from him, I'd still love to connect you with them as well. So please let me know. If you'd like to do that, you can send me a message after this as well. So our next speaker is Mr. Nabil Chammas. Nabil is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer for BTG International. Love Nabil. He's a fellow Liverpool fan, so we always have a good time having a chat about that. We do. Nabil, you have 3 minutes, sir. Start now.
Fantastic. Paul, thanks again for the opportunity, and great to meet you all. Just hearing your pitches and your companies, I certainly see synergies in working together. So as Paul mentioned, I'm CEO of BTG International. We're an indirect tax firm. And by indirect tax, I'm referring to specific taxes like GST, fuel tax, land tax. We also cover international trade taxes, which it really is customs duty. And we've expanded recently offshore to focus on VAT, global VAT. Whilst we offer a number of services, our core offering, which is effectively what's made us famous, is a retrospective look-back review to identify where the client's under-recovered any one of those taxes. And so it's almost like a data integrity look-back review and say, we go to the client at 4 years and say, hey, you've underclaimed X. Once they claim that back, it's a contingency fee arrangement. So we operate on that basis. As far as the organisations we serve, full mix of clients. We do service a lot of the top 100, top 1,000 companies, multinationals. We also, service SMEs, and that's a growing sector for us. But we do quite a bit of work for the government as well in the state and local arena, not so much federal. In terms of, the key industries that we focus on, it's very dependent on the tax. So for argument's sake, global VAT recovery, it's for our multinational clients that had offices all around the world, and there's a bit of travel. For fuel tax credits, it's for our agricultural companies or mining companies or civil construction companies, where we do find quite a bit of opportunities there. Land tax, property groups, we do quite a bit of work for the big end town property groups, but we're finding land tax to be a real pain for any landholder or property holder. We are finding that the SRO is often making mistakes, or the Valuer General is making mistakes. Shouldn't have said that because I know it's recorded, but anyway, but it's something that we do find opportunities in. And international trade taxes is really for our retail clients or clients who are importing quite a bit from offshore. And I suppose the main thing for us is that with that recovery opportunity, we do find something always. We haven't had a situation where we haven't found upside, because we're going back 4 years and things just happen over a 4-year period. And in certain instances, like for land tax, you may be able to go back 5 years. But that's a bit about us. Lovely to meet you all. I'm looking forward to hopefully connecting with a number of you. And once again, Paul, thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Nabil, and right on 3 minutes as well. So, guys, you guys have all been practicing this. This is wonderful. I've only had to do this, I think, twice. Now it's wonderful. Thank you so much, Nabil. Now we only have 2 speakers left, and so really want to start thinking of some great questions to obviously ask the speakers that we've already had, plus the speakers that are coming up. So again, please utilize the chat box, or obviously ask the Q&A at the end. So our next speaker is Catherine Moss. Kath is the partner and national head of tenant representation for the wonderful Knight Frank Australia. Such a massive, wonderful company that has a great British presence there as well. So, Kath, your 3 minutes start now. You're on mute, though.
Hello, everybody. Just do the classic, start talking, give you halfway through the presentation on mute. Thanks very much. Good afternoon, everybody. And thanks for the intro there, Paul. As I said, Catherine Moss and Knight Frank Australia. So quick intro on the company. Knight Frank is headquartered in London in the UK, originated in the UK and founded back in 1896. And one of the world's largest privately owned real estate firms and global. But Knight Frank Australia, we specialise in providing comprehensive tenant representation services. So our goal is to help occupiers of real estate find the perfect space and negotiate the best terms that support our clients' business needs and their growth. Beyond tenant representation, our broader occupier platform helps clients with a range of real estate needs, including the hot topic and buzzword of ESG initiatives, so that's your environmental and sustainability goals, workplace strategy, project management, and fit out. And for those owner occupiers, transactions as well, helping them buy assets for occupation or sell. Our holistic approach ensures that we support our clients through every stage of their real estate journey. So the sort of types of organizations that we engage with is everybody that occupies some kind of space, whether that's office or whether that's industrial or whether that's a retail shop. They're from local companies here in Australia, right through to international businesses that might have a whole portfolio that they look after globally, or perhaps just regionally, or perhaps just as small as one office in the state of New South Wales or Victoria, etc. Whether you're facing a renewal of a lease, whether you're facing a potential relocation, or whether you're looking at your current premises and they no longer support the business that you're doing, and you need some help in getting out of them in advance, we're there to help. So some of the companies that we have supported over the years, we've just pulled out a few big names off the shelf that you would all know, but they can be global legal firms such as Ashurst. It could be international energy companies such as Shell, some of those larger retailers that perhaps have come out from the UK and are now here, such as JD Sports. large-scale universities. So I was really pleased to see we had a university on today. So the University of Wollongong, for example, would be one we've done work with. Government departments, departments of finance, not-for-profits, the Salvation Army. No organization is too small or too large for us to work and assist. And on that note, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kath. That's wonderful. And I know there's going to be probably loads of questions for you at the end as well. So yeah, we'll definitely make sure there's some questions at the end as well. So our final speaker is Mr. Liam Ireland. Liam is the Hospitality Sales Executive at Rugby Australia. Obviously, a bit of a big tournament coming up in a few months' time. So Liam, your 3 minutes, sir. Start now.
Thanks, Paul. Like you said, I'm Liam Ireland. I'm actually from Scotland. I'm the Hospitality Sales Executive from Rugby Australia. So hopefully you remember that one. But essentially, yeah, I sell all the corporate and client hospitality for all the rugby union games in Australia involving the Wallabies. So yeah, as Paul mentioned again, the upcoming British and Irish Lions series is pretty big. We've only got 120 days to go to that until that begins. So if you are a rugby fan or you're not a rugby fan, not a sports fan in general, I'll give you a bit of a background on the Lions series itself. So the team is made up of basically the best players from the whole nation. So Scotland, England, Ireland and Wales. Every 4 years they travel to either South Africa, New Zealand or Australia, where they'll be once every 12 years. So it's the first time since 2013 that the team will be here. The Australian government are anticipating 40,000 travelling fans from the UK. So it's pretty big from back in the UK and also over here as well. So there'll be nine games in total. They'll play 6 kind of tour and warm-up matches against the kind of provincial Super Rugby clubs and also some invitational sides, as well as the 3 test matches against the Wallabies, so Australia. We've got hospitality packages available at all these games. It's a really unique opportunity to entertain some clients, whether it's obviously client entertainment or also kind of employee rewards as well for such a historic event. So packages range from premium sit-down functions where you can have private tables. There's a couple of suites here and there if you need them. And we do have obviously those private tables at 10 I mentioned. Enjoy 3-course sit-down dinner, all-inclusive drinks throughout. There'll be guest speakers, so ex-Wallabies and ex-British and Irish Lions players speaking throughout, as well as kind of platinum match seats too. If it's not formal that you're after, we do have something a bit less formal, a bit livelier. So we've got off-site functions where it'll be live music throughout, obviously food and beverage included in that as well. There will be a mix of Wallabies and Lions fans as well. So I know there's a lot of British contingent on here. So don't worry about that. There'll be split 50-50, I'd say, at the minute. And all merchandise we'll give out will be half and half. We do have a few British Chamber members already involved in the tour. So Ollie and the team from Lockton, they're already involved in quite a few of the test matches. So thanks to them, boosting the British contingent as well. I know it's going to be good. But yeah, if you are keen to get involved, obviously on that, we'll make sure you get allocation of tickets as best we possibly can. Yeah, and if you do already have tickets for it, lucky enough to do that, we are sold out in terms of general tickets, so we can upgrade you to hospitality, or we do have some other events as well. So we do have lunches that are going to be taking place beforehand, also on the Thursdays beforehand. So yeah, if you are keen to kind of find out more about the British and Irish Lions series later on this year, feel free to speak to me after this. Happy to connect with anyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Liam. And yeah, as you say, it's going to be a massive tour, something we've been waiting for a long period of time. Obviously, the last one in South Africa was behind closed doors because of COVID. So yeah, it's going to be huge. So if anybody hasn't got tickets or hospitality, it's a once in a 12-year event, great opportunity. Yeah, please get in contact with Liam. So that is the end of the formal segment from obviously all of our speakers. And thank you so much to our wonderful speakers for that. Would love now to obviously start opening it up to the floor for a few questions. Again, if you feel more confident or more comfortable putting it in the chat, please do. Otherwise, please either raise your hand or just take yourself off mute and ask that question as well. But because nobody ever likes to do the first one, maybe I'll do the first one. So Kath Moss from Knight Frank. So obviously, we've been through COVID, work from home. Now there's mandates, everybody's got to come back to the office. I don't know if it's just me, but I've started seeing a lot of movement in Sydney. A lot of companies are starting to either downsize, upscale, moving new offices, things like that. Are you finding the same thing, that this year just seems to be a bit of a crazy year for movement?
Yeah, absolutely, Paul. And Sydney's really humming again now. I wish I could say the same about Melbourne. We saw a lot of the big organisations, I'm talking about 10,000 square metres plus, do a lot of their downsizing over the last 2 years. And now really we're seeing a lot more of the sort of small and medium-sized organisations right-sizing. But it's not just a tale of downsizing, and we're seeing quite a bit in the professional services sector, specifically in the finance market, actually scaling up and starting to struggle looking for that premium grade space. So there's really a tale of two stories going on in many of the markets around Australia at the moment.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Yeah, and I think, you know, it's something that, you know, there are some companies that try and do it on their own, which is probably, you know, you probably see that a lot when you go, why are you doing it on your own? We know what better rates we can get for you, and we're the ones that deal with the landlords and all that sort of stuff. Is that still something you're finding at the moment, that people are sort of thinking it's going to cost me too much if I went through a Knight Frank, for instance, or?
Yeah, well, we're moving into a market where a lot of organizations are constrained on their capital spend. I'm sure a lot of people on the call here would have had conversations with their leaders on, you know, tightening the belt on capital expenditure at the moment. And so we are expecting that we're moving into a phase of a lot more organizations renewing in their offices and trying to do sort of more with less. And to be honest, it's when you need an advisor more than ever, because trying to get a good deal from your landlord in a renewing situation is far harder than trying to get a good deal from a landlord who's trying to lure you away to his new building, his new product. So really important to get advice on any renewals as well as relocations.
And obviously you'd be more than happy to give that advice when you can.
Oh, yeah, that's us.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you so much. Maybe I will ask another question over to Peter Nespel from Income Asset Management. So obviously we've seen the globe go through quite a few changes, you know, economically, you know, new people coming in. Obviously, you know, anytime that I guess Donald Trump comes into power, that's always going to, you know, sort of, I guess, affect the market a little bit as well. What are you seeing about the future of the investment, you know, market here in globally and in Australia right now? Are these changes in government making massive waves in that whole aspect?
Yeah, it's interesting. Our line of work is all about interest rates. It's all about, you know, the biggest thing for us over the last few years has been inflation, obviously. Interest rates, or the bonds that we that get issued, they're all benchmarked essentially to the interest rates. So when I was doing this job 5 years ago and interest rates were 0%, essentially, you were selling long-term bank debt at 3 or 4%. That's all the client got. You know, fast forward 5 years and all those bonds are sort of trading at 6 or 7% income. So, you know, it has been a good time in a way for the bond market, for new people coming into the bond market. I think the sort of the name of the game going forward is what is the RBA going to be doing with interest rates? You know, there's been a lot of conjecture about them cutting. They've just put through their first cut, but will they continue to cut? We've got an election this year domestically, you know, all these big spending promises. I think that's going to make them cautious about, you know, being too quick to cut. As you mentioned, you've got Trump and his sort of wild card element and the tariffs. And is that going to be, you know, reinflationary in the US? So, yeah, I think internally our personal view is that interest rates probably won't come down as much as people think. Sorry, as mortgage holders, which I am. Yeah, look, I think that's just our house view. But having said that, in our market, there's all sorts of different opportunities, fixed versus floating rate bonds that are pegged to inflation. So, you know, you really can design things with your own personal view and with our guidance. Yep.
No, fantastic. Thank you so much, Peter. If anybody has any questions, please yell out. Now is your perfect time. I'll put them inside the chat box. Maybe I will continue with the questions though. So we'll go to.
I have a question, Paul.
Peter, yes, absolutely, please.
For Nabil from BTG International. What the indirect tax review that you do you have an ideal client that fits the review for your purposes?
That's a great question. Peter. To be honest, when I started the firm about 3 or so years ago, we used to kind of focus on the bigger end of town. So, you know, clients that were 50 million plus in revenue, but then we started working with SMEs, and some of these SMEs are way below that. So then we kind of we said, you know what, we're happy to talk to any company as long as, you know, it's not your mum and dad shop kind of thing, you know, your grocery shop. So not really, to be honest with you. We think every client, for every client, there's an opportunity because we broaden our services. So it's always worth speaking to them, see whether we can help them out. And often we can, to be honest with you. There's often, you know, whether it's land tax or fuel tax or whatever, something comes up. So the short answer to that is not really, unfortunately. So we're happy to just chat to anyone to kickstart the process.
Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Nabeel. Kath.
Hi, probably a question for Piers or maybe Simon, dealing with a number of organisations coming out from overseas into Australia. Are you seeing an increase in the number of those organisations coming into Australia? And if so, what's driving that?
Simon or Piers, whoever wants to go first.
All right, Piers, go for it.
Okay. Yes, I think we've seen a pretty steady demand for from overseas companies wanting to come to Australia, both in regulated markets and generally for directorships. And I think people are coming out here because they see that Australia is still a strong market for them. Australia and New Zealand, actually, still strong markets for them in terms of the economy and opportunities to leverage into Asia. You know, our TGA regulations here are one of the toughest in the world, but actually it's a virtue for foreign companies because once they're registered here, they can re-register or they can take their products around the world, and they're highly regarded. So we get quite a few companies wanting to come out to Australia, and the market seems strong. There hasn't been a downturn from our point of view.
Yeah, I find R&D tax incentives a pretty big one too in the tech space for tech development and all that too. If you can get double your money basically by doing it in Australia, spending in Australia, that's pretty popular. But yeah, I think the banking and tech in Australia also has pretty good reputation globally. So we see a fair bit from that side of things. And yeah, it seems as active as ever.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for the insights there, gents. And Kirsty Silk, thank you very much for letting us all know. So just to share that they've also launched a series of business masterclasses, free for members, 90 minutes online and in person if you're in Brisbane. So please contact Kirsty, and obviously we'll have that. We'll have her details after this as well. So maybe I'll go to Brittany. Brittany, obviously, you know, the marketing guru that you are. Particularly for, say, an SME business. There's so many different areas of marketing that you can funnel your money into. If you had to say to an SME business, right, this is the most crucial aspect for you, would it be social media marketing? Would it be some sort of publication? Would it be the pens and papers and drink bottles and all that sort of stuff? What would you say is the most fundamental thing for SMEs right now?
Oh, I mean, you've thrown me a difficult question, and the answer always is like, what are you wanting to get out of it, really, at the end of the day? Like, what is the business's goal? Before I dive too far into, I guess, what my thoughts are, I do want to preface that we're not necessarily a marketing agency. We are advertising. So while we do outsource and use other marketing agencies to provide us with a little bit more of that in-depth information, I guess most of our day-to-day jobbing comes from marketing managers of businesses, so we don't necessarily have that experience in-house. That being said, we've been operating for so long that you see similar trends come across, and because we're working across a lot of different industries, we do start to see trends that can really break through maybe in an industry that is not, I guess, utilizing that at the moment. One of the things that we're seeing the most engagement on, or I guess is providing the most value for money being put in, are areas where we're able to do more storytelling. So our 2D and 3D animations seem to have the biggest splash because it is really drawing people in and telling a broader picture, whether that's over a minute-long video or in a 15-second reel, I should say, or TikTok that they can put out onto social media. But we've also been playing a lot with how to bring that story across other collateral as well. So rather than just having a water bottle, you've got illustrations that sort of tell the story around the bottle as well that can link to other material too. So we're really finding that really creating a campaign around storytelling and invoking emotion is where a lot of our clients are finding a lot of cut through at the moment.
No, fantastic. Thank you very, very much for that, Brittany. And yeah, obviously great opportunity for people to pick Brittany's brain when it comes to their marketing opportunities there as well. Let me go to Ollie very quickly over at Loxy. Now, Ollie, 98% retention rate. That's amazing. What do you think the secret of the sauce is for you guys on that?
Yeah, absolutely. It is impressive. So that 98 retention rate is here in Australia. Globally, we're 96, and again, both of those figures absolutely smash through the industry average. And there's a few points to it. I think I spoke to it previously. That private ownership for us really does differentiate and allows us to solely focus on service to clients. We are a growth-focused business, but what that means again is we can always heavily invest ahead of the curve. We're never backtracking. We're always looking forward in terms of the teams of people that we can bring in, the best in the business. We strictly don't acquire businesses. So we don't look to grow through acquisition. We look to grow purely organically. And that includes buying the best talent, buying the best individuals in the market that ultimately bolster the service proposition. But absolutely service to clients, Paul, is at the forefront of those figures.
No, absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Ollie. And yeah, it's such a great organization that's grown considerably since, I think that Loxton have been members of ours now for maybe 6 years. And during that time, just absolutely blown up and flourished across Australia, which is amazing to see. So many of our chain members have obviously utilized their facilities. So thank you so much again. Now, I'm conscious of time, unless anybody had any final questions, because I know that people do have other things to do. And I know that, Kirsty, God bless you, you probably want to go back to bed at this point before you start your day.
I've had a good old cup of tea. I'm all right.
There you go. You're fine then. You're done. But no, maybe I'll close it there. So thank you again so much to all of our wonderful speakers. As I say, you will all be receiving an email tomorrow morning that will have all of our speakers' contact details on. I would definitely encourage you all to connect with each other, professionally and obviously personally, and to see how you can obviously support each other at the same time. These events are so valuable for our members to be able to really interact with each other, to see how we can support each other, and would love to hear the stories of success after this as well. Now, obviously, as the Chief Commercial Officer of the channel, it'd be remiss of me to not plug a few more events that we're doing across the country as well. So International Women's Day, we've got a fantastic event in Perth taking place tomorrow. If anybody's not on that as yet tomorrow, please do. Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane as well. We have a great pre-election briefing taking place in Sydney on the 11th of March. So, Peter, that'll be a good opportunity to find out what might be going on there. Budget breakfast in Sydney on the 26th of March. We have a wine tasting event in Sydney on the 10th of March. That's all Sydney. But then also, as Liam was saying, we've got the fantastic build-up to the Lions Tour, which we're all extremely excited about. And we're going to be doing some fantastic events in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane as well. Obviously, we will be sending this out as well, in the follow-up email. This event, as I say, has been recorded, so please share the link with some of your colleagues that weren't able to join us. But for now, I would like to say for myself, the rest of our team, Matthew Joyce is on the call with us right now. Matt heads up our partnerships in Victoria, looking after Brittany so well up there as well. So please, if we can ever be of any assistance to you at all, please get in contact. But for now, thank you so much again to all of our speakers. Thank you so much again to all of our attendees. And look forward to seeing you all again very soon. But have a wonderful day, Kirsty, or evening ahead for everybody else. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Paul. Everyone on the call.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.